Hi there, I hope you're keeping well. So we've talked about fasting and how it can help with fighting cancer. But today I just want to also talk about when we eat, what we need to do, especially for someone that has had a cancer diagnosis. We cannot just carry on the way we used to eat. Things need to change. The doctors are busy, focused on the treatment, the chemo, radiotherapy and all, and may not have time to talk to you about nutrition, but they do agree that nutrition helps. So what I wanted to talk today about is the fact that cancer cells are described as obligate glucose metabolizers. And what that means is they feed on sugar, they love sugar, and that sugar comes from the carbohydrates we have, the white foods we eat when they break down into glucose. That's what their fuel comes from. When someone is diagnosed with cancer and they continue the diet that they used to have, because to start with, when the person is having treatment, it is the symptoms the doctors are treating. What is the root cause? We also need to have a holistic view and also look at what we can change in lifestyle and nutrition. There's no doubt that nutrition plays a very important role in cancer treatment, in causing it and also in treating it. Not just chemo, we need to just approach it in different aspects. And I've talked about this in terms of lifestyle, exercising, but for the nutrition, we want to focus on less sugary foods, cut off white foods, potato, the rice, white rice, the pasta, processed food. If you look at that food and you cannot tell what plant it comes from, donate it during cancer treatment, basically, because you're adding fuel to the problem. And continuing to eat sugar rich or glucose rich food during cancer treatment is being described as equivalent to where there's a forest fire and the firemen are putting out the fire from this end of the forest, and someone has packed a tanker of gasoline on the other side of the forest and actually pumping it into the forest. So that fire would take a long time to go out, so long as that tanker of gasoline is still being pumped into the forest. It won't stop. That's how it is with nutrition. Cancer cells need something to continue to grow. Up to a point, whether they get the food or not, they start to grow, and that's the point we don't want to get to, where it's taking over the body. But once someone is having treatment, it is good to support that treatment with the right nutrition. The sort of nutrition that is not feeding the cancer cells. We need to cut off all the fizzy drinks. Even the orange juice is high in fructose. Fructose ultimately would also feed the cancer cell because it's a form of sugar. So we want to reduce fruits that are rich in sugar, high in sugar, and adopt fruits like blueberry and blackberries are the two top cancer fighting berries, for example, and they don't contain a lot of sugar. That's a good one to add to the diet. For fruits, kiwi is not very sweet, lemon is not very sweet, but both of those fruits are very rich in vitamin C. So two examples of cancer fighting fruits we can use that will not spike our blood glucose. Yeah. Then in terms of nuts, nuts are rich in fat and that will not spike your blood sugar. And for nuts, the two top cancer fighting nuts are walnut and almonds. Yeah? So if you have a combination of all of this category of foods and just adopt them to a diet rich in protein like beans and fish, and also for your fish or meat, you can have snail or mackerel fish, caught at sea mackerel fish, caught at sea salmon will be good options. Yeah, I don't want to be prescriptive because everybody's situation is different. Stuff you're allergic to or you don't like, you can take out. But generally, the idea is embrace more protein and less high carbs food, high glycemic index food, foods that are very rich in sugar. Yes, they may be healthy, like mangoes and all of that, but at that point where someone is having treatment, you want to avoid those foods. If you must have the very sweet foods, dilute the sweetness by adding some broccoli, some kale, some spinach, just so it's not that sweet. Yeah, but I would say avoid the high sugar foods. And focus on bitter foods. Cancer cells don't like bitter foods. So eat more of bitter foods and less of the sugary foods. Yeah. And you see that the response to that chemo may be better than if you continued with the white foods, the pasta, the white rice and all that. If you really love rice, swap your white rice for black rice. Black rice has this dark color because it contains what's called anthocyanin, and anthocyanin fights cancer. Yeah, so that's an example of your millet is a carbohydrate that also rich in protein. Barley is rich in fiber, is a carb rich in fiber, but not as bad as rice at all by any measure. So you can swap things around like that. I talk to some people and they say, oh, I don't like that, I can't eat that. At the point of having treatment, you cannot be careless, and time is of the essence, and food should be taken as medicine. Nobody likes medicine. I don't like swallowing Panadol because of the bitter taste right from when I was a child. I didn't like injection. But when I was sick, I had to have very intense treatment. I didn't have a choice because now I was fighting for my life. That's how you want to approach your food as well. Food as medicine is not what you like, what tastes nice in your mouth, but rather what is bringing a fight to that cancer cell or the cancer cells, yeah? What will cause those cancer cells to ultimately die? Because this kind of food you eat, if it's sustained over time, you find that the cancer cells will die. Combined with the chemo that is coming through, they will not stand a chance. Yeah. So I thought I'll share this with anybody you think it may benefit, and I'll see you in my next. Thanks for watching.